Have you ever stopped to think about the hidden stories people carry beneath their polished exteriors? Every day, we encounter people whose smiles shine and words sound kind, yet deep down, we feel there's something more, something concealed beneath the surface. How often do we take the time to look past the masks and ask ourselves, who are they really? In a world that often values perception over authenticity, it's easy for people to slip into roles designed to impress, to conform, or to conceal. But here's the truth: who a person truly is isn't shown through their words or even their charm, it's revealed in the subtle, unguarded moments that often go unnoticed. You just need to know where to look. Today, we'll uncover two simple yet powerful principles, two lenses that let you see beyond the masks people wear. People wear, these aren't abstract theories or complicated ideas. They stem from the raw, everyday interactions that reveal a person's true nature. By learning to notice these subtle signs, you'll not only gain deeper insight into others but also make wiser decisions about the people you keep close. Imagine being able to decode the quiet language of someone's actions, their smallest gestures and reactions. These subtle clues unlock the truth about authenticity and integrity. Once you recognize them, you'll start seeing people in a whole new way, and maybe you'll even uncover deeper truths about yourself. So, as we begin this journey together, I encourage you to stay present and keep an open mind. What you're about to discover might change the way you see and connect with the world. And if this perspective resonates with you, consider joining us by subscribing to the Explore Stoicism. Together, let's walk the path toward deeper understanding and meaningful growth. Now, let's dive into the first principle. 1. How a person treats those who can't return the favor. If you want to see someone's true character, pay attention to how they treat those who can do nothing for them in return. This simple yet profound principle reveals more about a person than any words, accolades, or public gestures ever could. In the Stoic tradition, true virtue is not displayed in moments of grandeur or when the world is watching. Instead, it shines most clearly in how we interact with those who exist outside the transactional nature of life, those who cannot reciprocate our kindness or advance our ambitions. Imagine a crowded cafe on a busy morning. The barista is overwhelmed trying to keep up with a long line of impatient customers. In the midst of the rush, a mistake is made. A wrong drink is handed to a hurried customer. The customer has two choices: to lash out, berate the barista and demand immediate rectification, or to calmly point out the error with understanding and patience. The first reaction might seem justified. After all, everyone is busy, and mistakes can be frustrating. But the latter response, one of composure and empathy, speaks volumes about that person's inner strength and respect for others. Now take this observation further. Think of how people treat the delivery driver, the janitor, or the elderly neighbor crossing the street. These interactions often pass unnoticed, but they are the truest tests of character. A person who pauses to say thank you to a receptionist, who smiles warmly at a waiter, or who holds the door open for someone without expecting acknowledgement reveals a heart attuned to empathy and humanity. In contrast, someone who is dismissive, impatient, or even condescending toward those in vulnerable or service-oriented roles exposes an underlying insecurity, a need to assert dominance, to mask their own shortcomings. The Stoics believe that our actions reveal our inner state. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The fruit of this life is good character and acts for the common good." How we treat others, especially those who can offer us nothing in return, reflects the depth of our virtues. Kindness, for instance, is not an act reserved for the powerful or influential. It's a habit we cultivate, one choice at a time. Every small gesture, a word of encouragement, a moment of patience, a willingness to listen, all of these reflect the values we hold within. Psychologists support this idea, highlighting that how we treat those who seem insignificant is often free from performance or ulterior motives. When there's no social gain at stake, our actions reveal a more authentic reflection of who we truly are. For instance, consider how someone reacts when a waiter makes an error with their order. Do they respond with anger, demanding correction, or do they approach the situation with calmness and understanding? The former reaction may suggest a fragile ego or poor emotional regulation, while the latter demonstrates emotional maturity and a sense of groundedness. As we go about our daily lives, it's crucial to observe these subtle moments. They are often unremarkable on the surface, but reveal profound insights into character. How does someone speak to a customer service representative when dealing with a problem? Do they address them respectfully, recognizing their effort, or do they belittle them to feel superior? Such behavior serves as a powerful litmus test, particularly in personal or professional relationships. After all, if someone shows disregard for individuals they perceive as less important, how might they treat you in times of conflict or disagreement? Let us return to the example of the cafe. Imagine two co-workers both frequenting the same coffee shop. Point 1. Alex is polite to the staff, thanking them for their service even on hectic mornings. Alex takes a moment to acknowledge the effort behind the counter, even if things aren't perfect. The other, Jamie, often rolls their eyes, complains loudly about delays, and treats mistakes as if they were personal insults. Over time, these patterns become impossible to ignore. Alex's kindness and respect reflect inner confidence and a deep understanding of our shared humanity, while Jamie's behavior exposes insecurity and a misplaced sense of entitlement. This principle isn't about perfection or grand gestures. It's not about being a street or sacrificing your own needs to accommodate others. Instead, it's about the small, consistent choices we make, choices that define our character. Saying thank you, offering a genuine smile, or showing patience in moments of inconvenience costs nothing but carries immense value. These actions remind us and others of our shared humanity, creating ripples of kindness in an often transactional world. On the flip side, arrogance or condescension toward those who cannot give back often signals deeper insecurities. In psychology, this behavior is often linked to feelings of inadequacy or a deep need for external validation. Those who belittle others may be trying to assert control or dominance, compensating for their own insecurities. This tendency is a major red flag, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. Someone who seeks to elevate themselves by diminishing others may lack the emotional stability or ethical foundation necessary for mutual respect and trust. The Stoics would encourage us not only to observe others but also to reflect inward. How do we treat those who can offer us nothing in return? Do we offer respect and patience to everyone, regardless of their status, or do we save our best behavior only for those who can benefit us? The ability to hold a mirror up to our own actions is essential for personal growth, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. B1. This reflection invites us to examine not only how we treat others, but also how we react in moments of frustration or inconvenience. If we catch ourselves snapping at a cashier for being slow or ignoring a delivery worker's greeting, it's a chance to pause and realign our actions with our values. Growth begins with awareness, and every day offers countless chances to choose kindness over impatience. Noticing these small moments, both in ourselves and others, deepens our understanding of true character. It allows us to navigate relationships with greater clarity, recognizing sincerity, or the lack of it, in those around us. More often than not, actions speak louder than any words. Someone who consistently treats others with kindness, especially when there is no advantage to be gained, embodies a character rooted in integrity and compassion. Ultimately, kindness is one of the strongest expressions of who we truly are. It's not about seeking recognition or approval but about living in alignment with our values. When we treat everyone, whether a stranger, a friend, or someone in need, with respect and empathy, we create a life that is more meaningful and deeply connected. True character is not measured by grand displays but by the quiet strength of everyday choices. By observing these small yet powerful actions, we can better understand those around us and perhaps ourselves. 2. The psychological value of keeping promises. The way we keep our promises is a powerful reflection of our true character. A promise, no matter how small, is more than just words. It's a bridge of trust, a silent affirmation that someone else matters. To the Stoics, honoring one's word was not about convenience, but about living in alignment with integrity. When we follow through on a promise, we affirm not only our respect for others, but also our own self-respect. In contrast, breaking a promise does more than just disappoint. It erodes trust, strains relationships, and exposes inconsistencies in character. Consider this: when someone keeps their promises, even in the face of difficulty, they send a clear and powerful message: I value you and my word holds weight. On the other hand, when someone consistently fails to follow through, their words lose meaning. This behavior doesn't just affect how others see them, it also gradually weakens their own sense of self-worth. Psychologists like Albert Bandura have emphasized that our actions shape our self-identity as much as they shape how others see us. Every promise kept strengthens the foundation of our character, while every broken commitment weakens it. Imagine a scenario: a friend promises to help you move into your new home on a weekend. You organize your plans around their assurance, only to receive a text at the last minute with a vague excuse about being too busy. You're left scrambling for help. This isn't just about inconvenience, it's about trust. The disappointment you feel is deeper than the immediate problem. It stems from realizing their words lack substance. Now compare this with another friend who not only shows up as promised, but brings extra supplies to make the move easier. Their action, no matter how small, reaffirms the bond of trust between you. The true test of integrity isn't when things are easy, but when keeping a promise becomes inconvenient. Life is unpredictable, and challenges often arise that make honoring our commitments difficult. Yet, it is in these moments that character is truly shaped. Someone who keeps their word despite obstacles shows not just reliability, but inner strength and integrity. They show that their commitments are tied to their values, not to fleeting circumstances. Take, for example, a professional situation. Imagine a manager who promises their team they'll advocate for better resources to improve workflow. This manager encounters resistance from upper management, making the task far more challenging than anticipated. Instead of retreating, they persist, finding alternative ways to fulfill their promise. By doing so, they prove themselves to be a leader worth trusting. On the other hand, a manager who backs down at the first sign of resistance signals to their team that their words lack conviction. How someone handles a broken promise is equally revealing. Even the most disciplined individuals sometimes fail to meet commitments due to unforeseen circumstances. The key lies in how they respond to these failures. This humility and accountability preserve trust and show respect for the people they may have let down. In contrast, someone who brushes off their failure, blames external factors, or trivializes the impact of their broken word reveals a lack of responsibility and disregard for others. The Stoics taught that while we can't control external events, we can always control our response. Owning up to a mistake and making an effort to fix it is an act of courage, one that reflects true inner strength. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Living by this principle means not only keeping promises, but also owning our shortcomings when we fall short. Another critical aspect of keeping promises is knowing our limits. Many people fall into the trap of over-promising, offering commitments they cannot realistically fulfill. This might stem from a desire to please or a fear of disappointing others. However, repeatedly taking on more than we can handle and failing to deliver creates a pattern of unreliability. The Stoics remind us that wisdom comes from understanding and respecting our limits. Saying no when we know we can't commit is far more honorable than saying yes and failing to follow through. Observing how others keep their promises offers valuable insight into their character. Pay attention to how they handle small, everyday commitments, arriving on time, meeting deadlines, or following through on casual plans. These seemingly small actions often speak louder than grand promises. Someone who consistently keeps minor commitments is more likely to uphold larger ones with the same integrity. For example, think of a colleague who promises to complete their part of a group project by a specific deadline. If they deliver as promised, they reinforce a sense of trust and dependability within the team. If they fail to meet the deadline without warning or explanation, it not only disrupts the group's progress, but also sows doubt about their reliability. In addition to observing others, we must turn this lens inward. How often do we keep the promises we make to ourselves? Whether it's committing to a healthier lifestyle, pursuing a personal goal, or dedicating time to self-improvement, these internal promises are just as vital as external ones. Each time we keep a commitment to ourselves, we strengthen our self-discipline and build confidence in our ability to follow through. But every time we break a personal promise, we chip away at our own self-respect. For example, imagine someone who promises to spend 30 minutes a day learning a new skill. If they follow through consistently, they not only improve their ability but also strengthen their belief in themselves to stay committed to their goals. However, if they constantly skip these sessions without reflection or accountability, they may start to feel discouraged or see themselves as lacking discipline. This inner dialogue shapes our character just as much as our interactions with others. Ultimately, keeping promises, to others and ourselves, is about aligning our actions with our values. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent, honest, and intentional. The Stoics believe that our integrity is one of the most valuable possessions we have, and each fulfilled promise strengthens this foundation. In a world where words are often spoken carelessly, let your promises stand as a testament to your character. Whether it's a simple commitment to meet a friend for coffee or a life-changing vow to support a loved one, each promise kept reinforces the trust you share with others and deepens your connection to your values. Paying attention to how someone handles their commitments reveals profound truths about who they are. Do they honor their word even when it's difficult? Do they acknowledge their mistakes and strive to make amends? Do they approach their promises with sincerity and thoughtfulness? The answers to these questions provide a window into the very essence of their character, and perhaps a reflection of your own. Ultimately, keeping promises is not about striving for perfection, but about embodying consistency and reliability. It's in the small, everyday gestures, those quiet, often unnoticed acts of integrity, that a person's true character comes to light. Observing how someone navigates their commitments from the seemingly trivial to the deeply significant reveals far more than words ever could. When we honor our word, we strengthen not only the bonds we share with others, but also the foundation of trust and self-respect within ourselves. As you reflect on what you've learned today, take a moment to consider how these insights might reshape your understanding of the people around you, and perhaps even yourself. Are there promises you can approach with greater care? Are there small actions you can take to align more closely with your values? Remember, True growth begins with awareness, and each step you take toward greater integrity is a step toward a life of deeper meaning and connection. If this video resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, share your own experiences, or let us know which insights spoke to you most. And don't forget to like and subscribe Explore Stoicism channel, so you'll be the first to discover more content designed to inspire wisdom, encourage growth, and challenge your perspective. Thank you for joining us on this journey of reflection and discovery. In our next video, we'll explore another powerful tool to help you navigate relationships and unlock your fullest potential. Until then, remember, every small act of kindness, every promise kept, and every moment of awareness brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. See you next time.